Ladies and gentlemen, Vice President Joe Biden.
John, thank you very much. Please sit down. I'll think the president walked in the room. My name is Joe Biden, and I've been working for Joe Riley for a hell of a long time without even knowing it. And John, your incoming mayor, John Tacklenberg, you poor son of a gun. I don't know that I'd do this. I understand. I've heard nothing but great things about you and your incredible family, but my Lord, following Joe Riley into... Oh, God almighty. But if I can do anything to help in the short time I have left, holler. I'm in. Because if you call me quickly, I'll just keep thinking it's Joe, and I just do whatever the hell he's told me. More money's come to Charleston from Delaware than I like to admit. Joe has been my friend from the first day we met. And he had only been mayor, if I'm not mistaken, a couple months. And I don't like Joe just because he's a fellow Irish Catholic. That's not the only reason I like Joe, even though Fritz says there may be the only one down here, Joe, besides you. If you want to understand, in my view, and you all do understand, but for those who may hear this, you want to understand Joe Riley, you only have to understand the meaning of a single word: character. Character. And as the old expression goes, it is true, my mother would repeat time and time and time again to me and my siblings. Say, Joey, character is destiny. Character is destiny. And Joe, we're the same age, but you remind me of something my father would constantly repeat. He'd say, Joey, every person is entitled to be treated with dignity. And Joe, that's what you do. That's what you've insisted on. That every single Charlestonian be treated with dignity. And I think that's what's really remade this city. It'd be incredibly presumptuous of me to thank Joe for what he's done for the city of Charleston or South Carolina, but it's not presumptuous of me, and maybe I'm better qualified than any of you in the room, to thank Joe for what he's done for the country. And I don't say it lightly, Joe. You know, there's a saying associated with another city in America, Las Vegas, that says what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. But Joe, because of you, what happens in Charleston never stays in Charleston. It spreads throughout the region and the country because of you, Joe. I was here when Reverend Pinckney and his fellow parishioners were assassinated. As you know, Joe, because you took me down to his office after I came back for the service after the President made that magnificent speech. And you took me down and to make sure I saw the picture Reverend Pinckney had on his desk of he and I. And Joe, the incredible thing about not your being mayor at that moment, but because you've been mayor for so long, is the way this city responded. We were talking about it, Reverend. The way the city responded. Others from around the country, angry, legitimately, upset, with a stereotypical notion that if this was a southern city, it must be fueled by pure racism, the city as a whole. And if I'm not mistaken, folks from Ferguson and other parts came. And you met them, Reverend, and said, we're okay. We can take care of ourselves. And because of all that all of you have done for so long, you became, and this is not hyperbole, you became a model for how a city responds to crisis. I witnessed how in September 1989, you led from the front after Hurricane Hugo slammed into the South Carolina coast. The worst storm in 130 years, 135-mile-an-hour winds, flooded houses, 17-foot tidal surge swept through the city, knocking what remained of people's homes from their foundations. Hugo caused $2 billion of damage, not in the state, but in Charleston County. $2 billion. But you led Charleston courageously in a businesslike manner, straightforward, just pushing ahead. Or as my buddy Fritz would say, and he quoted, I remember his comment, he said, "Getting those bureaucratic jackasses out of the way." No, that's what he said. That's what he said. And you dragged everybody to their feet, Joe. You just kept at it. It had an impact. And next month, Joe, for the first time in 4 decades, you won't be behind the desk in City Hall. We all know you're not going to stop serving. You'll be back at your alma mater, teaching young cadets at the Citadel, maybe inspiring several of them to decide they want to be mayor. Joe, because of your character, your unrelenting efforts, justice is rising up. There is more hope in this city and cities all across America. You continue to make history here. So, Joe, I'm sorry I have to leave because I have a meeting with a foreign head of state tomorrow and for a breakfast. But, Joe, I want to say, on behalf of everybody outside of Charleston, outside of South Carolina, who don't even know you, thank you. Thank you for making it clear that one man with character, one woman with character, can actually make a material difference over time in the legacy of a city, a state, a country. Joe? And I'd be remiss if I didn't conclude by saying, Charlotte, thank you, kid. As I told you when we said hi tonight, as we Catholics say, no purgatory for you, dear, straight to heaven. Straight to heaven. Thank you all so very much for letting me be here. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you very much. Thank you.